Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Sit Down. You are here with the host, and on today we're gonna do another rapid fire question. We got special guest here. That's
What's
gonna
going
be,
on, y'all? I'm the voice from beyond. This is Morgan Freeman here.
but he's gonna be asking me a question, and I'm gonna just be giving my answer and my opinion on it. So first question, go ahead.
All right, so the question we got: Bears regular season predictions and expectations. So it's a lot of hype with this draft pick.
Yeah.
What are the expectations? Well, hold on, I messed it up. Oh, it's a lot of hype about this new draft pick. What are your predictions and expectations of the Bears before the season starts? Because once it starts, everybody gonna say something. What's your before?
Going into the season, my expectations for the Bears as a whole team is to just be better than last year. That doesn't necessarily mean you
That's
have.
low.
No, no, they finished 7-10 last year. So going into next year, it doesn't ultimately mean you have to make the playoffs. It's not playoffs or bust. They have a rookie quarterback who got a rookie wide receiver right alongside him. They got Keenan Allen this offseason. They made great offseason moves. It's the reason that they have their Hard Knock series this summer. It's the reason that everybody's talking about the Bears, from Ian Rappaport to Kyle Brandt to Adam Schefter and everybody. There's a lot of hype around Chicago. But what I'm starting to see, I think there's a little too high expectations for Caleb Williams. Certain people are saying Caleb Williams is going to be in the MVP conversation this season. Bears could be Super Bowl bound. We just need to pump the brakes just a little bit and realize that he is a rookie. I think people look at the talent that he has around him in that offense, and then they look at the defense who finished top 5 last season, and they think, oh, he's just going to flourish. He's a rookie. He's going to at some point in that season hit a rookie wall, and there's going to be times where we look and we're like, okay, how is he going to bounce back next week? How is he going to overcome this? But coming out of high school, coming out of college, um, he's a generational talent. A lot of people compare him to Patrick Mahomes, and that's a fair comparison. We seen in the preseason when he was playing, making throws that we've seen Patrick Mahomes do. He has a lot of Patrick Mahomes type of capability in pocket structure or feeling the pocket, breaking out of the pocket, making insane throws. He had a crazy throw down the sideline to Roma Dunze when they played at Soldier Field for the first time this preseason. But I think realistically, the Bears could go 8-9, 9-8, 10-7, and possibly get a wild card spot, like that last wild card spot, because we can't forget the division that they play in. They play in the NFC North. They got the Lions, reigning NFC champions. Just went to the NFC Championship. Could have went to the Super Bowl if they didn't collapse. Green Bay, Jordan Love, even building on that defense. When they got Xavier McKinney from the Giants. Vikings, a little questionable. JJ McCarthy just went out for the season. Sam Darnold is their starting quarterback. We got to see how that pans out. But it is a tough division. Those last 6, 7 games of that season is all division games. San Francisco 49ers, Seahawks. That's a tough way to end your season. That's really gonna be the part of the season where we gotta see how this Bears team holds up. And then we
So
also
I,
got,
so I got a question for you. I got
yeah,
a question for you. Right now, who's your favorite player on the Bears team right now?
favorite player on the Bears team. Um, Jaquan Brisker, safety.
Why are you picking him over the quarterback?
Um, cause when Jaquan got drafted back in 2022 for the Chicago Bears, and it's it's the energy that he brings to the team. He's known as that kind of cleanup guy. He's a hard hitter. When he plays, because from time to time he does battle injuries on the field. But when he plays, you can almost always feel his presence on the field. Anytime, he's a great tackler. He always goes out and hits people hard. And when you could have a safety like that on the team, that just
Hmm.
brings out that kind of Bears mentality.
So why is he not celebrated over this new quarterback?
Um, well, I could say because you look at you look at Caleb Williams and you look at the things that he did at Oklahoma and USC, and how he's looked at as this generational talent who could go out and change this franchise and be what Michael Jordan was for the city of Chicago. If he could go and he could bring Chicago to Super Bowl, who wouldn't talk about him all the time?
Didn't they say the same thing about Justin Fields?
Yeah, they did. But what I can tell
How
you,
you gonna just jump over that?
no, what I can tell you was different from Justin Fields to this Caleb Williams. Justin Fields didn't come into this kind of he didn't come into this kind of organization that Caleb Williams is going into. Justin Fields got drafted and was and the whole training camp didn't get first team reps. Instead, they gave it to Andy Dalton. They started Andy Dalton that season, and then they threw Justin Fields week 3 into a fire pit against the Cleveland Browns his rookie season, and we know what happened then. And then building on that for years and years, you know, certain things weren't there for him, but also Justin Fields at times didn't go out and make things happen. Himself. It was Justin Fields. He could get you a flashy play with his legs. What about the arm talent? Can he give me a flashy play with his arm? You look at Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams can give you both. Caleb Williams is going into a structured offense with a great defense. He's going into what people would say is a nice offensive coordinator. There's still question marks around Matt Eberflus as a head coach. We have to see what's going on there. It's a great management upstairs with Ryan Poles. We've seen what Ryan Poles can do as a general manager. So it's just a better structure that Caleb Williams is going into than
So
Justin
here's my
Fields.
question.
Two things that the Bears can do to mess up this season, I say, is execution, and then also just not, I say, just not doing not sticking to the plan or going like off script. I say.
Well, that's execution.
Yeah.
So give me another one.
Really is I'm trying to think, but really all I could think about is just execution because it's laid out so perfectly for them. But also there's gonna be bumps, and it's a couple new guys playing with each other this season. Like the only part of this team that I can say is coming back from last year is that defense. So that offense is really going to tell us the story because you got Roman Dunze now. You got Keenan Allen. Those are two new wide receivers on that team. So it's going to take, time for these guys to gel and bond. We've been seeing that in training camp. But if they just can't come out and execute, then there's all of this was for nothing. And it's been like this for seasons. We date back to going into that 2019 season after the double doink against Philly. Everybody thought that this Bears team was going to be better, and they just didn't come out and execute. Execution has been a big problem for Chicago for years to come.
All right, so last question. Are the Bears going to the Super Bowl this year?
No.
So you gotta say it. You got to say it.
No, I don't
So
think.
the Bears are not going. You got to say it.
The Bears aren't going to the Super Bowl this year.
You a hater.
I'm not a hater. It's just I don't think realistically we have to be real. It's okay, to look at this team and be like, oh, we're gonna be great this season. Caleb is gonna win Rookie of the Year, and the Bears have a potential chance at making the playoffs. That's okay. That's mild expectations that you could say. But to look at this team who hasn't played in a real regular season game yet with each other and say that this team can go to the Super Bowl, I just don't think that's logical at all.
Okay, and last question.
Mm-hmm.
What's the best team in Chicago right now? Basketball, baseball, or football?
Best team in Chicago right now is football. It's the Chicago Bears, and it's crazy to say a team that hasn't played a regular season game yet with this offense and this defense is the best team. But you look at the Chicago Bulls. Nobody knows what the Chicago Bulls are doing. The Chicago Bulls traded away Alex Caruso for Josh Giddey and didn't get no draft capital off of one of the best on-ball defenders in the league.
And DeRozan gone.
Yeah, he went to Sacramento. And you still got LaVine. I thought out of all people, LaVine would have got traded, or something. It's just no one knows what the Chicago Bulls are doing as a franchise. They're looked at as a laughing stock right now. No one knows what the White Sox are doing as a franchise. They're one of the worst teams in the Chicago White Sox have set most losing, like a big losing streak, like of consecutive games. That's how bad, like no one knows what's going on in Chicago sports right now. You look at the future of Chicago and you look at Angel Reese for the Chicago Sky. You look at Connor Bedard for the Blackhawks. You look at Caleb Williams for the Bears. You look at all that and you can see what the potential of the future can be. It's just all about how these organizations are going to keep these players and build around them so that we can see more championships come to the city of Chicago.
What's your last thing about the Bears? And you'll switch out.
Final
Final thoughts.
final words I have for Chicago Bears is it's we've been waiting for a team like this. We've been waiting for a team like this for years. We've sat through the Justin Fields era, the hope that we got the day he was drafted. We sat through the questionable Mitchell Trubisky draft selection. We've gone through everything you can imagine over these last 6, 7 years. We've never had a team with this much hype like the Chicago Bears have now. There's so many pieces around the Chicago Bears that can excel this team for the future. We have this is this is our last chance. We've gone through too many quarterbacks. We have Caleb Williams. We cannot mess this up. We have to get this correct. We have to get it done, and we have to bring a championship back to the Chicago Bears.
If you can go to one Bears game this year, who would you go to? What game?
Um, uh, I say if I could go to one Bears game, I'd go. I go to that first Green Bay game at Soldier Field. I think that's either week 13, 14. I might be wrong, but I go there like win or lose. That the atmosphere, especially if we're a good team this year, the atmosphere in Soldier Field is going to be absolutely electric. So if I could pick a game to go to, I'd go to that Green Bay game in Chicago.